Hey guys, day 8 check-in, I guess. One full week down. Was down another 2 pounds this morning, so doing great. That puts me at about 12 down in the first 7 days. Again, you expect some bigger weight loss in the first week from just kind of losing the flush basically, but things are going great. I've started the last couple days, I eat my evening meal and then I don't eat anything until lunch the next day, with the exception of my bulletproof coffee in the morning. And so it's about 10 o'clock now, 10:30. I'm starting to get a little hungry, but I can definitely make it till noon when I eat my lunch. And so it's been working for me. And so then at night, of course, I've been having my steak and my eggs or whatever I'm having. Had those last night. Honestly, I had some of my locally sourced beef, and I've just not been super impressed with it. Even though it's non-GMO and corn-fed, it just doesn't seem to have the texture profile of the stuff that I've been getting at my local grocery store or Fairway. So it may be healthier, but honestly, it doesn't taste as good. So as soon as I'm done with those steaks, and I've got had a T-bone last night. I've got another T-bone, 2 ribeyes, 2 sirloins, I think, left, and then still have a bunch of ground beef. And the ground beef has been great, but I mean, I can buy that at the store. So probably going to finish up that quarter beef and then start buying stuff at the grocery store. Really fallen in love with these bone-in ribeyes at Fairway that are about a pound each, 10 bucks a pound right now. I think they are on sale. They're normally 12 or 13 bucks a pound, but I have one of those a day. And then with my ground beef, I'm easily doing this diet under 20 bucks a day, and some days even closer to 15, because my only other really expense is my coffee and some MCT oil and my element in my water and my coffee. So things are going great. Going to keep pushing. I've got about a week and a half until my family camping trip starts. Really starting to like this, and so I'm really leaning towards more not letting my camping trip disrupt this diet. I think I'm going to take an air fryer, some steaks, some eggs, and maybe even some pre-made ground beef. So we'll check in later. Things are going great. All right, day 9. Went to the gym this morning at 6 a.m. So got a good early workout in, had my bulletproof coffee before I went. Then came home, had some eggs. I was kind of hungry, probably because I worked out in the morning, which I don't normally do. But so I had 3 scrambled eggs this morning. Back at it with a pound of ground beef for lunch. And then tonight we're going out for one of our founder of our business's birthday. So I'm not really sure where we're going or where it'll be, but I'll just try to grab a steak or a burger or something like that. So we'll keep you updated. Was down half a pound this morning, so it brings me down to like, I don't know, 12.5 pounds down, something like that. So still moving in positive territory. Feel pretty good. Focusing on hydrating, making sure I get my 3 elements in a day. Really starting to like those. So still on track. All right, we'll check in tomorrow. All right, guys, we're starting day 10 here. Down almost 2 pounds from yesterday. So 272.6 this morning. That's about 14.5 pounds since last Tuesday, 10 days ago. Last night had a work dinner with the founder of our company and a bunch of the other brand presidents of our brands underneath our company. Went to a restaurant that didn't have great options, found some wings, bone-in wings again, probably fried, and then maybe had some seasonings or spices. They were Caribbean jerk wings, and said something about rum. So I'm sure not perfectly ideal from a keto or carnivore standpoint, but did the best I could. I think there was maybe 8 or 10 wings on the order I got, but obviously came down some more in weight yesterday. So always just when put in a situation where I can't eat ideally to what I'd like to, I just do my best, and I feel like I did that last night. I had my first kind of run-in with someone telling me, oh, what are you doing? This isn't healthy last night. Actually, a good colleague of mine that, good friends, and really appreciate her as a person. She eats more of a lean diet, so chicken, salmon, not as much carbs and sugar, so still eating a healthy diet, coincidentally, but I just kind of brushed it off and said, hey, we can still be friends. I know you're judging me kind of in a joking manner, but it's no big deal. I mean, everyone has to make their choices on what they're eating and what's healthy for them. And I know that I'm much more healthy than I was 10 days ago. So taking the weight off, taking the bloating and the excess water weight off, my joints are feeling better, sleeping really hard. So part of that could be because I'm so tired this week, because we're just on all day long with some stuff going on at work, but otherwise going really well. So, if you jump on carnivore or keto or even lion diet, you're going to get some of those people who say, oh, that's not healthy and eating that much meat isn't good. And I think anyone watching this may have seen other videos about the research both on saturated fat and meat, and kind of all of the hubbubaloo about that stemmed from a study many years ago that cherry picked the data and didn't look at it in real time. And I think we're starting to hit a kind of a turning point on that. People are not just accepting that anymore. Even some of the, health organizations are taking saturated fat off of their list of contributing to heart disease and high cholesterol. So everything's going well. We're day 10 here. We've got another work event tonight. We're catering in Qdoba, so I'm going to hit the steak and the chicken, maybe throw a little shredded cheese and sour cream on. It's, again, not ideal, but it's one of those things where, hey, I'm not eating the rice, I'm not eating the beans, I'm not completely breaking my diet. And so I used to always view things as all or nothing. Well, I had one little bite of this, so now the diet's off for the day. Let's go have some cake or a donut or whatever the case was. And ironically, yesterday there was 2 different cakes in our office for celebrating birthdays or going away of employees, and then we had cookies last night after dinner, so I had to turn all those down. But honestly, it wasn't that difficult once you get into the swing of this diet. Yeah, you always have temptations on those things that you like to eat, but you're not hungry, so that helps cut out a lot of the temptations. So everything's going good. We'll check in tomorrow. All right, starting day 10 here. Let me turn the radio down. Good morning, guys. Day 11. Everything's going well. Last night had a work event, as I mentioned. We catered in Qdoba. Ended up having some chicken steak with some of their shredded cheese on it, and then a little sour cream and some of their green and red salsa, which I checked online and are either 0 or very low carb. So wouldn't be probably considered carnivore just because of the cheese and sour cream. Some people count that as carnivore, but at the very least keto. But didn't blow off the rails or anything. Kept my carb count certainly under 15, maybe under 10 for the day. So that's what I'm learning on this diet, is that even when you're put in a situation, again, the last couple nights I've been in situations where maybe there wasn't ideal options, but I made the best choice I could and didn't let the fact that I couldn't follow the diet perfectly derail me and let me go off track, which I've done in the past many times. So I'm happy with how it went. It bumped me up a little bit this morning, but again, I'm not worried about day-to-day weight changes or even weekly really weight changes. I know on this diet that one of the benefits is that I will lose some weight. So feeling really good today. We wrap up our busy week at work. We'll probably have some breakfast catered in this morning. I already have my bulletproof coffee, but I'll probably have some eggs and bacon for breakfast. And then lunch we cater in barbecue usually with some brisket, which typically has lower sugar content or any of that type of stuff on the seasoning when they cook it. So I'll probably have some brisket for lunch, and then tonight planning on maybe making up some sirloins from the quarter beef that I've got in my that I have thawed out in my fridge. Or I don't have the whole quarter beef thawed out, but the steaks I have thawed out from it. So that's the plan. Tomorrow I'm going to a car show, or car meet really more so. Really cool here in West Omaha. Lots of different cars, everything from Japanese imports to old muscle cars to new Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, Porsches, the Mercedes sport cars. And I have a 2018 Corvette Z06, so I like to drive out there. I'm certainly not a big man on campus, but it's a lot of fun just to go look at the other cars and be amongst those people. So that's what I planned is tomorrow. So maybe I'll get some footage there. And then I think at the end of this week, my kind of recap video, I think what I'm going to start doing is last week I kind of covered my diet history. I think this week in my recap video, I'm going to just kind of talk about all the different devices and or seasonings and kind of things that I use to make this diet work for me on a daily basis. So that's a plan. We'll maybe catch you guys tomorrow morning at the car show. See ya. Hey guys, day 13 of Carnivore Diet, or some close resemblance to Carnivore Diet. Just finished a walk with my wife. We did about 2 miles and right around 35 minutes. So just getting out, getting some steps in on a Sunday. Have these new on-brand shoes, walking shoes. See if I can get this in the right angle here. Felt really good. So the only issue I ran into is on the back here. I wore too short of socks, so it started to rub on my heel, but very comfortable. So big fan of these. I think they cost about 150 bucks, so they're not cheap, but plan on using these for my walks. And then during my CrossFit workouts, I'm gonna use them for the days that we have running involved. My workout shoes for my normal cross training classes are Reebok Nano 12s, and they do not provide a ton of cushion or support on runs. So Saturday morning, we went to one of our CrossFit workouts. It was a long 30-minute team workout. Felt good. I've been hitting 3 of those element pouches a day, and I really think that's keeping me from getting dehydrated or cramping during workouts. I haven't noticed any huge decrease or any decrease at all really in energy levels during those workouts. And I think that's attributed to the fact that I've hit the fat pretty hard on most days. Sometimes even having a little bit of cheese. Yesterday afternoon, we went to a coworker's house, backyard pool. I did good, ate before we went. While I was there, I had a few of my carnivore crisps, which I just got in the mail a couple days ago. And then waited closer to the end just so I wouldn't be tempted to eat too much, and had a few slices of cheese, few bites of, he had like a sour cream and green salsa dip, which had probably like 2 or 3, I only had like 2 tablespoons, so probably had 2 or 3 carbs in it. Had some of my carnivore crisps, as I mentioned, some slices of cheese. So really, all in all, did pretty well there. This morning, woke up, I'm down 16 pounds in the first 12 full days, this being day 13. So weight loss is still coming. Last night, made a couple of burgers. I got a couple burgers at my local grocery store called Fairway. They were 6-ounce burgers. I got 3 of them, put some white extra sharp cheddar cheese on them, and I got some stone ground mustard with horseradish in it, and real clean ingredient list, no sugar, which I had to look closely on even some of the mustards because they put a little sugar in them. So that was delicious. I'm gonna be doing a lot more burgers, I realized, instead of just the ground meat with salt. That's good, but the burgers are just so much juicier. The fat it's just a lot better, a lot more appealing. So then also last night, that same grocery store, Fairway, had 40 ounces of bacon for $5.99. Check the ingredient list, very clean. So I got one of those. I probably should have got 2 or 3 and frozen them, but got those. And then I got 4 more of my bone-in T-bones that are $10 a pound. So I'm kind of stocked up. I made last night, I mentioned I had the burgers this morning. I had a couple of sirloins thawed out from that quarter beef I talked about in a previous video that I bought. And guys, it's just kind of a bummer. It's not that good. I'm a little disappointed considering I feel like I can get better steaks and beef at my local grocery store than this guy. Now, that's not going to be the case in all situations. You find a good beef farmer in your local market, and maybe you'll have better luck than I did, but I won't be buying from this guy again. The ground beef is fine, but it's kind of hard to screw that up. So anyways, back to my normal stuff. Got my camping trip coming up this week. We go on Friday, come back next Thursday. So I've kind of went and planned out what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, my brother's got one of the little tailgater size Pit Boss grills. So we're going to take that. I'm going to take some of those bone-in ribeyes. I'm going to take some of those burgers from Fairway that are easy to cook up. I'm going to take some bacon. I'm going to cook a bunch of that bacon up and take it in a bag, and then I can just warm it up either in a microwave or on a grill somewhere in a pan. Take some eggs to make some eggs. Take a bunch of my Element pouches. We're going to take a little mini Keurig coffee maker that we have here at home, just a spare one. Take my MCT oil. What else? I think that's the bulk of it. I might also, I'm going to take some extra sharp white cheddar cheese. I really enjoy that on the burgers, and so it also just pairs good with like some bacon as a snack. It's kind of a salty and I guess I don't know what you call the cheese, but cheese and bacon goes good together. So that's the plan for that. I'm going to really try to stay on plan. I'm also thinking about there's a keto biscuit recipe I came across on YouTube that has almond flour, baking soda or powder, I can't recall which one, salt, and eggs in it. So very simple recipe. It makes very low carb keto biscuits. And then what I'm going to do is, in my family, we have this recipe that I think is I don't think I've ever heard anyone else eating it, but we call it biscuits and strawberries. So my mom would make homemade biscuits, really good. So I'm going to try to go a little healthier on those though. And then she would put heavy whipping cream or half and half or evaporated milk with sugar in it, and then like frozen or fresh strawberries. And so you'd get the liquid and the strawberries together and you'd pour it over the biscuit. It's like a sweet breakfast dish. I mean, it is pretty much a dessert, but we'd eat it for breakfast, like during Christmas time or any special occasion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make those keto biscuits. I'm going to get some Fairlife skim milk, which I was shocked is the macros on it are a lot better than just even your traditional store brand milk. And it's also lactose free, which I guess I don't really care about, but can be helpful for some people. So I'm gonna get some of that skim milk. I'm gonna mix it 50-50 with a coconut almond milk blend, which has like 1 carb and is fairly healthy. Then I'm gonna put some of my frozen strawberries, and I have some organic blueberries from Costco that I had from before the diet. I'm gonna blend all that up with a little bit of liquid stevia, and that's gonna be what I put on top of the biscuits. So Again, it's not going to be 100% carnivore, but I'm starting to get comfortable with the fact that, hey, on this week in the past, I would have just blown it out and eaten obscene amounts of food, drank every night, felt like crap, honestly, by the time I was done with the trip. But I'm going to try to pretty much stay on a keto-ish carnivore predominant diet throughout the whole week with little treats. And then the last thing I forgot to mention is I might get some raw almond butter, the healthy stuff that's just got raw or roasted almonds, salt, no binders, no soybean oil, no nothing. And maybe eat a little bit of that with cheese or even on a biscuit or whatever. So that's my plan. Again, I'm pretty lucky. My brother's got this portable grill, so we can use that for all my cooking needs. Otherwise, I was going to take a air fryer, but I think his grill will be better for things like eggs and that sort of thing. So that's a plan. I'm getting excited. I'm going to do some prep on that before we go. I think the cabin we're staying in is kind of a little bit more fancy cabin. It's not huge, but it's got a bathroom in it. I don't know if it has a fridge, but I've got a nice cooler and ice is plentiful up there. So we'll keep all my stuff iced down and good throughout the week. So that's a plan. I think I mentioned at the beginning of this video, as I said, down 16 pounds in 12 full days. This is the beginning of day 13. So the weight loss is coming along. Started at 287. I was 260. What does that put me at? 262 this morning. I already forget what I was at. 261.9 this morning. My goal is I just screwed that up. 287 is what I started at. 271.9 is what I was this morning. My goal would be to get close to 265 by Friday. But again, this isn't a short-term, hey, crash diet, let's get down to that goal weight. It's consistency, and that's how I'm treating this trip coming up. Sunday, as I mentioned, this evening, we're going over to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law's house for dinner with my in-laws and my wife, since we won't be around for Father's Day next weekend when we're camping. So we'll do that. And they're going to be making burgers, and I think they're making like some deviled egg potato salad and some other things, but I'm going to take some of that sharp white cheddar cheese, some of the bacon I cooked up this morning. The burgers will already be there. And then what I might do, and again, this is not 100% carnivore, but I might get like a big beefsteak tomato and slice like 4 big slices out of the middle of it and treat that like my bun. The reason being is there's not a ton of carbohydrates in tomato. I know it's not Lion Diet. It's not considered carnivore, definitely, but it kind of just allows me to have something that tactilely feels good. And I'll take some of my horseradish mustard as well. So that would be really delicious. So that's the plan for tonight. Other than that, one other thing is yesterday I took my element pouch, I took a cup of ice, and then I took 2 cups of water, blended that in my Ninja blender, and then I threw in just like 5 frozen strawberries. And again, guys, I keep going back to this. I know it's not technically carnivore, but strawberries are fairly low carb, fairly low on that glycemic index. So I threw some of those in. It was unbelievable. It was like a slushy. So it's one of those things that makes you feel like you're not being cheated. You get a little sweet treat in the middle of the day. It was pretty warm and humid yesterday, so that really made me feel like I had a great snack. So that's kind of an update on where we're at right now. Tonight, I believe I'll be filming a video on just all the utensils that I use to cook and make all my carnivore meals. Either that or I'm going to be doing all the like supplement type stuff like the Element and just different things that I've been using. And then whichever one I don't do, I'm going to do next week. So that's my plan for week 2 recap. I will touch base with you guys later tonight. Hey guys, Monday morning, day 14 of carnivore-ish. Didn't end up filming that video last night that I mentioned, so this will be my wrap-up video to week 2. But I wanted to talk about some of the tools and equipment I use on this diet. So first and foremost, I have a Ninja coffee maker that has the pod style, so I make a 11-ounce coffee in that, rich. On the rich setting, pour in a packet of Element and some MCT oil, as I've talked about before, and then I blend it in my Ninja blender. So I like the Ninja brand. It seems like you have really good quality for the price. So a lot of the stuff in my house is Ninja. So those for breakfast predominantly. I also have started using my Ninja blender to put I think I talked about this before, a cup of ice, 2 cups of water, one of my fruity like Element pouches, and makes kind of a good slushy. So kind of a cool treat now that we're heading into the summer months here. It's June, so it's starting to warm up here in Omaha, and it's been in the 80s or 90s a couple times already. From there, I have just bought the dual air fryer from Ninja, and so it's got like a little plate in the bottom. You can make 2 different things. Works well with my wife because she has celiac, so she's always making like her frozen chicken nuggets and that kind of stuff, which even though they're healthy for her from a celiac standpoint, I know they're garbage, but we'll one day at a time here. So I use that for, I'll like sometimes trim the extra fat off my steaks and throw it in there and crisp them up. It's really good. I saw Dante do that on Frig No Freedom. So I use that air fryer somewhat, not a ton. And then predominantly still the two that I'm using the most are just my stovetop for making my eggs in the morning, either scrambled or fried, and actually not always in the morning, sometimes for dinner. Like this morning I didn't have any eggs. I just had my bulletproof coffee, and now I'm heading to work. And then my grill, I've been using my Weber propane grill a bunch. Steaks, burgers, I can see that continuing. I've flirted with the idea of getting a Masterbuilt charcoal gravity fed grill, and so we'll see. But if you don't have a grill or a propane grill or a wood pellet or a charcoal grill, you could always use like one of those countertop. There's several. I think Ninja actually even makes one that has like a hood on it for your countertop. So the reason I wanted to make this video talking about those is you can see it's a pretty small list of equipment that I use. And no, by the way, this is not snot. I'm 35 years old and yet I still get acne sometimes. So that'll be a fun one. But it's a pretty small list of equipment, so you don't need to go crazy or anything. It's very easy. Let's see what else. So this morning I was up half a pound. I kind of expected. I had 3 third-pound burgers, the frozen ones from Costco last night. I threw on the grill, threw some bacon on there, had some sharp cheddar cheese on those, ate it on a big like romaine lettuce leaf and had a slice of tomato on each one. And again, I know, not carnivore, but low glycemic, low calorie. I don't have the the autoimmune or any of that kind of stuff that Michaela Peterson or Jordan Peterson have. I'm doing this for diet and health, so the marginal amount of carbohydrates and or non-carnivore-esque food items I don't get too blown out of proportion. I went through a list with my list with my wife last night of things I want to take camping, so she's on board, and again, going to be making a lot of stuff on the grill, but I really think I can do this, so we'll see. I am going to make, I think I talked about in my last video, I am going to make some of those keto biscuits. So I ordered the flour, and I missed an ingredient yesterday when I was talking about it, or 2 days ago when I was talking about it, but there is sour cream in that mix. So it's that almond flour, baking soda or powder. Again, I need to look at that because I need to get it at the store tonight. Eggs, I think it's 2 eggs, cup or half a cup of sour cream, salt, very simple. Then use like a cookie scooper to scoop them out, and then you pat them out on a sheet because they basically cook at the size that they look like on the sheet. Maybe I'll try to link that video, see if I can figure that out, so that I can give credit to the person who has the recipe. So other than that, things are going well. Feel good on the straight and narrow for the most part here, and have another few days before the camping trip starts where I'll try to keep dialed in. I'll have 4 workouts back to back, Tuesday through Friday this week before I go on that trip. So still staying on top of all my fitness goals and workouts as well. So that's it for now. Weight this morning was 272.4 as opposed to the 271.9 yesterday. So down 15.5 pounds in just shy of 2 full weeks. So going well. All right, guys, that's the end of week 2 on Carnivore Diet. I will check in throughout this week and do some videos next week at my camping trip. Talk to you later.